If you could see the world through the lens of someone who believes the Earth is flat, what would you see? A strange map, the North Pole at the center, the continents radiating outward in a perfect circle, and at the very edge of the world, a giant ice wall, 150 feet tall, guarded by armed NASA personnel. Sound like science fiction? Then you might be surprised to know hundreds of thousands of people on YouTube, Facebook, Reddit genuinely believe this. A recent survey shows only 84% of Americans say they always believed the Earth is a sphere. Among those aged 18 to 24, that number drops to just 66%. What is happening? Imagine standing on an entirely different Earth. No sphere, no curved horizon, no surrounding space. In this world, Earth is a massive flat plane with the North Pole at the center, and Antarctica doesn't exist as we know it. Instead, it's a towering ice wall, 150 feet high, encircling the entire planet, strictly guarded by armed forces, according to flat Earth believers. Sounds like a wild conspiracy theory? Yet hundreds of thousands of people on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok not only believe it, but actively spread it. According to them, all images of Earth from NASA are fake. Astronauts are actors. Every bit of evidence for a spherical Earth, from textbooks to satellites, is part of a global conspiracy to hide the truth. And this isn't just the belief of a fringe group. A 2018 survey in the US found that only 84% of respondents said they always believed the Earth was round. Among 18 to 24-year-olds, the number drops to just 66%. In a world flooded with data and satellite imagery, why are so many people skeptical? The answer isn't just about science. It lies in psychology, culture, and a deep distrust of the modern world. At school, you probably heard that in the Middle Ages, people believed the Earth was flat. Then Columbus sailed and proved it was a sphere. But in truth, that's a myth told over and over again. For thousands of years, since ancient Greece, scholars overwhelmingly agreed the Earth was a globe. Thinkers like Eratosthenes used the sun's shadow to calculate the Earth's circumference around 205 BCE. In other words, the shape of the Earth was scientifically settled long ago. So why did the idea of a flat Earth resurface? Ironically, it didn't happen before science, but during the rise of modern science. In the mid-19th century, as revolutionary discoveries in physics, math, and biology reshaped the world, some people began to feel alienated by science's complexity and abstraction. They longed for a more tangible kind of science, one they could sense and understand themselves. One of the most prominent figures in this movement was Samuel Rowbotham, also known as Parallax. In 1838, he conducted a simple experiment. He placed a boat with a 1-meter-high pole on a straight canal nearly 10 kilometers long in England. Theoretically, if the Earth were curved, the pole would gradually disappear from view. But it didn't. Through his telescope, he claimed it stayed visible. From that, he concluded the Earth is flat. This experiment spread quickly. Rowbotham wrote books, founded societies, and became a pioneer of the anti-science movement. Although he ignored factors like light refraction and atmospheric density, which explain why his result was flawed, he convinced many. Not because of evidence, but because he tapped into a powerful feeling, that science had become too detached from real human experience. When Samuel Rowbotham, or Parallax, performed his canal experiment and published his flat Earth theory in the 19th century, most people weren't drawn by scientific rebuttals. They were captivated by his direct approach, using the senses to understand the world. And that's the thread connecting flat Earth believers then and now. In Parallax's time, he rejected complex scientific methods, claiming they were too theoretical, too far removed from reality. He promoted the zetetic method, a simple observational approach where humans ask nature questions and observe the answers. His followers wanted science to remain close to human perception, even if that meant ignoring things like light refraction or atmospheric density, which scientifically explained why his experiment was wrong. The movement faded for a while, but in the 21st century, the age of the internet, it resurged with a new generation of flat earthers. Now they have YouTube, forums, satellite imagery, and even in-flight measuring tools to test for themselves. Like Parallax, they rely on direct evidence and ignore thousands of years of scientific research. In short, belief in a flat Earth was never just about the shape of the planet. It's a deep resistance to a world where truth is increasingly complex and intangible. In their eyes, if you need quantum physics to understand a truth, maybe it's not a truth worth trusting. Just like parallax nearly 200 years ago, today's flat earthers still try to challenge modern science with personal perception. But instead of canals and telescopes, they now use YouTube, social media, and viral videos. They bring levels on airplanes, analyze NASA photos, and dissect every detail of the moon missions. To them, the entire scientific system, from astrophysics to quantum mechanics, is too distant, abstract, and unverifiable. They call it a blind faith in the system. In contrast, they elevate personal experience. See for yourself, feel it, verify it. That's the real truth. That's why modern flat Earth arguments often take the form of short, punchy slogans. Horizon is flat. No curve, no globe. Like Parallax's experiment, these images and phrases are accessible, easy to grasp, and especially easy to share. This leads to a troubling reality. Belief in science is being replaced by belief in emotion and intuition. Scientific skepticism is no longer fringe. It's becoming a trend, and it raises a critical question for society. How can science not only be correct, but also be felt and trusted? Ultimately, what I've come to realize is this. The Flat Earth movement isn't really about the shape of our planet. It's an expression of deep skepticism toward large systems, from government and media to modern science. That's why Flat Earthers love George Orwell's 1984, even though it says nothing about geography. The book speaks of invisible powers, distorted information, and manipulated thought. For them, believing in a flat Earth is a form of resistance, a way to reclaim the right to observe, feel, and trust their own eyes. But the problem is, most of what we know about the universe comes from systems we can't verify ourselves, like space telescopes or physics models. Science is the result of thousands of people building knowledge together over time. And if we lose trust in that, how will we understand the world? You're listening to the Global Thread TV, where we help untangle the cultural, social, and psychological knots shaping our global life today. I'm Lucy. Thanks for listening. If you found this episode thought-provoking, please share it, because sometimes all it takes is a different perspective to change your entire worldview. See you in the next episode.